Hello everyone, I'm Arnab Guha from Impeccable Innovations Private Limited. We are a startup from Bangalore, India. Today, it's the 2nd April 2023. We are going to talk about autism on the World Autism Awareness Day. Do you know? The word autism is derived from the Greek word autos, which means self. The literal meaning of autism is alone. And in my opinion, I don't like this word alone, as we are looking to create more inclusivity of people with autism in our society. So, what exactly is autism? Autism, or autism spectrum disorder, refers to a broad range of conditions characterized by challenges with social skill, repetitive behavior, speech, and non-verbal communications. As per the CDC of US, autism affects an estimated 1 in 36 children in United States. This is a figure of 2020. As parents and professionals working in the field of autism, you will get a lot of scientific and technical understanding of autism through the 5th edition of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder. In this manual, more than 70 disorders are being described, and you can very well understand the nitty-gritty of different types of autism. There are basically 5 key types of autism. The first one is classical autism, then it's Asperger's syndrome, next is pervasive developmental disorder, next is Rett syndrome, and lastly it's childhood disintegrative disorder, short form is CDD. Among all the types of autism, classical autism is perhaps the broadest and the most predominant form of autism. In technical terms, anyone showing autistic tendencies that satisfy the guideline laid out by the DSM-5 autism spectrum disorder is termed autistic. The effects of autism is such people may range from mild to very severe. Research has shown that the brain of autistic children has a fair number of electric impulses that in other normal brain of the similar age. Asperger's syndrome. It classifies people who fall under the high functioning autism spectrum. They are often intelligent and excel in academics and work life. However, their impairment lies in the lack of social skills. While they develop communications and language skills in the same way as any other developing child, their deficits become more obvious with age as they struggle to keep up with the expectation of their family and extended community circles. The third type of autism is the pervasive developmental disorder. Not otherwise specified, is used to classify people who do not fit into any particular category of autism. They meet some of the criteria of classical autism, but not necessarily all. Their impairments could range from mild to severe, requiring support ranging from anywhere between level 1 to level 2. Functioning level is usually moderate to high, barring the exceptions where they overlap with other disorder syndromes. Coming to the fourth one, that is the Rett syndrome. Rett syndrome occurs only in girls. The only form of autism disorder which can be diagnosed and medically confirmed. Girl with Rett syndrome suffers from significant communication impairment. Also, one of the common symptoms of Rett syndrome in the girls limited ability to use their hands for regular activity. Typically, this syndrome deteriorates with the girl's age, thus requiring more support and time. Lastly, the fifth one is the CDD. CDD stands for childhood disintegrative disorder. It is also known as Heller's syndrome. It's an interesting one. Typically, what happens is it affects the toddlers and the preschoolers. In this case, the child grows normally until at least the age of 2 and then shows a sudden drop in social, communication, and behavioral skills. CDD is often overlooked initially by the parents as they tend to attribute this sudden impairment as a transient one and a temporary phase for their children and would expect it to pass away. But unfortunately, it never passes away. Now, this table is a snapshot of autism support level 1, 2, 3, and by mapping different types of autism, we can understand the mild, moderate, and the severe version of autism. Autism is more common than childhood cancer, diabetes, and AIDS combined. Actually, there is currently no medical detection blood test or cure for autism spectrum disorder. This seems to be a busy slide, but let me simplify it for you. This slide talks about autism symptoms, comorbidities, and the biomarkers. Yes, genetics as well as epigenetics both play a role in autism. Cognitive comorbidities comes with the symptoms like language impairment, intellectual disability. Behavioral comorbidities are also linked with symptoms like hyperactivity, impulsivity, agitation or aggression, and anxiety. However, the medical comorbidities comes with symptoms like severe constipation, seizures disorder. However, the five biomarkers that you can come across are abnormal EEG, developmental macrocephaly, neuroimaging, altered immune or mitochondrial indices, and hyperserotonemia. The core autism spectrum disorder symptoms can basically be divided into two categories with certain overlaps. The first category is the impaired social communication interaction, and the second category is the restricted or repetitive behavior. So, in the impaired social communication, the issue is with the social reciprocity, non-verbal communication, and managing the relationships. While in the restricted behaviors, we see repetitive speech or behavior, insistence on sameness, restricted interests, as well as sensory abnormalities. So let's talk about certain stats related to autism medical comorbidities. This is very important for all of us to understand. Majority of the people with autism suffers with sleep disorders and GI disorders. They will usually have an abnormal EEG, and almost one-fourth of these people will have epilepsy, various food allergies, and immune deficiency and dysfunctioning. However, around 3 to 5% of people with autism will have mitochondrial dysfunction as well as Fragile X syndrome, FXS. This stat talks about the likelihood of health challenges for people with autism as compared to the general population. As we have discussed, the GI problem is very high in people with autism. So, the likelihood of autistic people developing various GI problem is almost more than 7 times than the general population. Developing diarrhea or colitis is again near to 300%, and also getting severe headaches, frequent ear infection, asthma is around 200%. Autistic people also have a likelihood of developing skin allergies and eczema around 150 to 200% again. However, the seizures are almost 33% higher than the general population. It has been seen that the boys are nearly 4 to 5 times more likely to get autism than the girls. However, it is important to note that girls are often underdiagnosed with autism and misdiagnosed with other comorbidities. For the parents, it is important to note that even if your child is non-verbal till the age of 4, that does not mean that the child with autism will never speak. Research shows that most will learn to use words and nearly half will learn to speak fluently. So all is not lost, but you have to keep on doing your job. One important thing which I missed earlier mentioning is children and teens with autism often have lower bone density than their peers. So it is very pertinent for the parents and the caregivers monitoring the calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D aspect, as well as the estimation of vitamin K2. I would like to reiterate the fact that children and adults with autism often care deeply, but they struggle to spontaneously develop empathetic and socially connected typical behavior. Individuals with ASD often wants to interact socially, but they lack the ability to spontaneously develop effective social interaction skills. So it is very important that the society have a inclusive nature and make them inclusive in our day-to-day life. Well, only the parent knows how it is to be a parent of an autistic child. Supporting an individual with autism cost a family around $60,000 a year on an average in the US. In my opinion, the researchers should focus on gut-brain axis because majority of the comorbidities comes from the intestinal issues and its impact on the brain is huge. As the result, there is an alteration in the mood and behavior of an autistic person. As I always say, it is important to begin a treatment program as early as possible so that we can improve the lives of people with autism spectrum disorder. A professional may not be able to cure your child with autism, but even certain degree of improvement will definitely lead a better life for your child. When you face challenges in life, you will either avoid it or get worried, or maybe succumb to it, or you will take it head on. And I will urge every parent, mother, father of an autistic child to never give up. Take things head on. Absolutely. Let's meet Dhara Thakkar from India. She is a mother of high functioning 10-year-old child with autism. And let's see what she has in store for us.
हाय फ्रेंड्स, कभी कभी लाइफ में क्या होता है कि जो एक्चुअल प्रॉब्लम होता है, जैसे कि प्रॉब्लम को हमने आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया, लेकिन उसके रूट कॉज को आइडेंटिफाई करना भी उतना ही ज़रूरी होता है टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम। तो मेरे बेटे को भी क्या था कि प्रॉब्लम तो बाय बर्थ आया था, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम जो आइडेंटिफाई हुआ कि बॉर्डर लाइन ऑटिज़म है वो 5 साल का हुआ तभी आइडेंटिफाई हुआ। उसके बाद उसके पहले भी काफ़ी सारे मतलब बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स थे, डाइजेस्टिव प्रॉब्लम्स, न्यूट्रिशनल प्रॉब्लम्स, वो भी सारे प्रॉब्लम्स तो थे ही। और उसके बाद जब प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफाई हुआ कि बॉर्डर लाइन ऑटिज़म है तो उसकी थेरेपीज़ वगैरह हम लोगों ने चालू कर दी थी या मेडिसिन भी दे रहे थे, लेकिन फिर भी जो डाइजेस्टिव इश्यू था, न्यूट्रिशनल इश्यू था, वो सॉल्व नहीं हो पा रहा था कैसे भी करके। तो जब मतलब ये 10 साल का हुआ तभी से मैं ये स्पॉटिफाई ये आटा दे रही थी उसको, और ये स्पॉटिफाई आटा देने के बाद जो उसका इम्प्रूवमेंट आया, जो इतने सालों में उसका इम्प्रूवमेंट का ग्राफ था उससे काफ़ी ज़्यादा फ्रीक्वेंसी में काफ़ी ज़्यादा जल्दी से आ गया। मतलब जो भी अंडरस्टैंडिंग लेवल्स, जो भी सारे प्रॉब्लम्स थे उसके, जो डाइजेस्टिव इश्यू, उसको बहुत सारी एलर्जीज़ भी थी। तो ये जो आटा था, ये आटा मतलब ये स्पॉटिफाई का जो आटा है ये गट फ्रेंडली आटा है। तो वो जब भी मतलब वो जाने के बाद कभी उसका और कोई कंप्लेन नहीं आया। तो कभी कभी मतलब उसके टीचर्स या ट्यूशन टीचर्स भी कभी कभी पूछते हैं कि आप मम्मा उसको क्या खिलाते हो। तो मतलब ये जो स्पॉटिफाई का आटा देने के बाद मेरा जो ये प्रॉब्लम था वो काफ़ी हद तक सॉल्व हो गया। अभी भी मतलब मैं वही आटा दे रही हूँ और उसमें बहुत सारे इम्प्रूवमेंट अभी भी चालू ही है। तो मैं ये सभी पेरेंट्स को या तो स्पेशल किड्स के पेरेंट्स को मैं ये रिक्वेस्ट करती हूँ कि मतलब आप स्पॉटिफाई आटा ज़रूर यूज़ करें, क्योंकि आपको मतलब बहुत सारे चेंजेस अपने आप ही दिखेंगे। तो कभी कभी जो चीज़ दवाई काम नहीं करती तो ये चीज़ काम कर जाती है, तो आप ज़रूर ट्राई कीजिए। थैंक यू।
Well, that is amazing to hear the real lifetime story of Dhara and how she maneuvered her life and how she never gave up on her child and kept on using different types of therapies. And then finally, she has also tried our Sportify gluten-free flour range. For a scientist like me, especially a food scientist like me, nothing gives me more kick than to see some impact of our innovation on these innocent children. That's why what we have done as a startup, we have maneuvered the whole business model on and around autism. We manufacture gluten free foods, totally 100% gluten free foods. None of our product has any preservative or anything which can deteriorate health of a human. And obviously, as I said, autism is our central theme. Not only manufacturing, we have the second leg of our business, which is an e-commerce portal, impeccableinnovations.com. From this portal, you can buy all types of GFCFSF foods tension free. GFCFSF is gluten free, casein free, soya free. So all the product listed in our website is totally plant based and devoid of anything which can harm the health of your child. So please try out the listed product. We have listed all the products of the brands after carefully understanding the scientific implications of those products on the children. So do try out our website products and give us a feedback. You can follow us on Facebook on our ASD special page.